guys, welcome to our show, Talk with LOC. I'm your host, LOC Modoni. We have a guest, that is Brian Angel. He's going to tell us his stories, his life stories, how he grew up and where he is right now. Brian, welcome to our show. I'm your host, LOC Modoni.
Thank you, and I'm honored to be here to your show.
Yes.
So I've been told, the LOC, called Brian KWEYU. Labda tuache niongee kwa Kiswahili na itakuwa na mix Kiswahili na English, ndio maybe watu wale wa mtaa nielewe pia. Mimi ni mwanafunzi wa mwaka wa pili 2.2. Anafanya kozi ya Kiswahili na mawasiliano. Na wacha kwanza nichukue fursa hii kushukuru Elsie kunikaribisha kwa show yake na pia kunipea platform ya kueleza my life history.
Karibu tena.
Manake sio unajua watu wanapokuona wanadhani kuwa labda wewe unatoka katika familia ya kifahari, namna unavyojiweka, ile lifestyle ambayo unaishi. So people intend to think you are from even a minister's home. Lakini behind the scene ama nye wanasemanga nyuma ya kamera mambo ni tofauti. Sasa I remember my life history is somehow painful, and I think I will share the life history so also encourage others not to give up. I remember life has not been so easy with me. I'm a second born in a family of 8 kids, and from the 8 kids, from when I was in standard 7, standard 8, that is when the life pattern of our family changed everything. Initially we were just well off. Tulikuwa tu vizuri. Manake mama alikuwa anafanya kazi, baba alikuwa ndo ana retire kufanya kazi. Lakini sasa unaelewa, mzee wangu ni ule mtu alikuwa anapenda wanawake wengi. Sasa kule you could just see your dad once in a while. So for example, out of the 7 days of the week, unaweza muona siku moja and for maybe 30 minutes. Na hata hiyo 30 minutes labda kama umeamka kwenda kukojoa na ndio umuone. So I grew up with a dad, yes, but it's like in his absence. So we used to see our mother close. So most of the time our mother used to struggle with us. I remember in primary when things fall apart. Haya matatizo yetu kuanza, au matatizo ya kifamilia yalianzana na matatizo tu ya mashamba hapa na pale. Tukawa familia hatuelewani, ile ya kule na yetu hatuzungumzi, hatuelewani. Sasa ikakuwa hata sisi yale mateso ambayo tunapitia na wale ambao tunaona maybe they are well off, hawezi wakatusaidia. Ni kwa sababu there is that family grudge ambayo pia unaelewa iko katika mambo mengi. Sasa nakumbuka life was so tough. I remember when I did my KCP. My first KCP was in the year 2015. So I did my KCP in 2015 and got 320 marks out of 500. So, when I did my KCP, I was expecting to join Form 1. But looking left, looking right, there was nothing. Ukiangalia hata kashamba, kuna shamba ya kuuza. Ukiangalia kuku, hata kuna kuku ya kuuza. Ukiangalia, there is nothing like tangible that you can say, let me sell this one and join Form 1. Tukajaribu kuapply ma scholarship hizi za Equity, nothing came out. Tukajaribu KCB, nothing came out. So nikasema, but I can't give up. Nilikuja nikajiambia, nataka kusoma. Sasa nikajiangalia nikasema, what am I going to do? So nikakuja nikaambia wangu, anyway, we cannot force things to happen. Kwa sababu sasa kama situation hainiallow kwenda hata day school, wacha tu nifanye nini? Nirudie class 8. So na sikutaka kurudia shule ambayo nilikuwa juu na maybe sikutaka hiyo stigmatization and everything. Sasa what I did, vitu kama hizo. Sasa sikutaka mambo kama hayo. So what I did, nikasema nitarudia lakini mnitafutie shule. So I went to a village huko sasa Ujombani. There was a village school huko ndo nilienda. Tena kuenda kwa village school, imagine they want around ulipe 3,000 sijui mara ya remedial, ulipe ya mtihani kesi ni primary. Unaelewa tu ukianza mwaso ukiingia class 8 then as a new student ndio hiyo unataka uniform. Mambo bado ikakuwa tough even more than kuingia form 1.
School fees ilikuwa the same na ya mixed.
Ya form 1. Sasa nikasema what am I going to do? So tukajaribu hapa na pale, tukapata vitabu, nikaingia, tukapata pesa kidogo haka hii ya remedial, nikaanza kusoma. Sasa head teacher venye nilimuelezea my scenario, nikamwambia right away I'll not manage to buy a new uniform of your school. Utaniruhusu nikuje na hii uniform hata kama ni mwezi mmoja nikijipanga kununua uniform ya hii shule. Pia yeye ni mwanadamu akanielewa. So nikaingia na hiyo uniform, nikaanza kusoma kidogo. And by that time I used to live with my grandmother because now I've gone to Jombani na is not my like real grandmother but she's my grandmother. Sasa nikasema hapa ni kufa kupona. So nikaendelea nikasoma with all the challenges hapa. Lunch wanafunzi wanakula shuleni, unaambiwa upelekwe maragwe na mahindi, hata hiyo mahindi hauna, hiyo maragwe hauna. So what you do is just najua kama ingekuwa university wanasema inama. So imagine unainama primary class 8, but what are you going to do? Alafu kuamka asubuhi unaambiwa inafaa ufike shule by 4. So ukienda less than 4 am unapata kuna mwalimu hapo anawasubiri na viboko. So unaangalia
si mlikuwa watoto sana kwenda shule kwa hiyo.
Lakini sasa imagine, remember we are candidates. Then inafaa we need to study, we need to do examinations. So with all those things mimi nikasema anyway I'm a man, acha mimi niingie kwa system. So nikangangana nikamaliza class 8. So when nilimaliza class 8 nikapata 385 out of 500. Nikaona nimepita. So there is this hope of joining form 1 again. Remember when I did my first KCP in form 1, I missed to join form 1 because of school fees. So again nimerudia. So I thought that maybe situation is going to change at home, but it did not change. Vitu bado zikaendelea sasa zikakuwa more worse. It reached a point mimi nikaacha kwenda kanisani because nilikuja nikasema it's like this God ni kama tu hata hakuna kitu ananisaidia. I lost hope. Sikuwa nataka kusikia maneno yote ya pastor, sikuwa nataka kusikia maneno yote ya evangelization, anything to do with prayers sikuwa nataka kusikia. Na hiyo attitude ilinifanya mpaka saa hii like I hate prayers, I hate church. Not that si kwa ubaya, not that I hate God, but sometimes I find myself questioning God. Ni kwa sababu huyu ni Mungu. Wacha tu nisiongelee Mungu sana. I might be punished. But depending on the situation that I was, it made me to hate church, it made me to hate pastors because they kept on giving false hopes. Wanakwambia wewe endelea tu kusubiri, njia zitafunguka, and everything is tight, everything is lost. So nyinyi mkienda mnachota mahindi gorogoro 2 mnapeleka kwa mchungaji, anawaombea, anawaambia sijui mweke imani kwa Mungu, njia zitafunguka. Watoto wakajoin wote wakaisha. Mimi bado niko nyumbani. So I was like, sasa njia gani zinaenda kufunguka? And my mother kept on moving from one pastor to another. So I was like, hii maneno ya watumishi mimi nimechoka kutembea kwa watumishi. Kama pesa itapatikana ni sawa. Sasa unajua hapo nimemaliza KCP. Barua zimetoka and nilikuwa nimeitwa to an extra county. Nilikuwa nimeitwa St. Peter's Mumias Boys High School. Sasa nikasema how am I going to join this institution? And remember, in our family we have rich people. Not that we don't have rich people, lakini relatives, they tend to think that you are in a competition. So wanadhani the other side wakisaidia the other side ni kama the other side itakuja iwashinde. So it's like they think you are living a life of competition. So especially polygamous family, kakua tuna maneno mengi, inakuwa kisaidia ule mtoto kutrain form 1, mtoto wako hakuwahi enda shule kama hiyo, unaona sijui vitu kama hizo. Sasa mambo mengi tu ikatokea. So I was like, these people, I just even did not bother to, mind. I just mind my own business. So nikasema, hiyo kitafanya aje? Nikaenda nikajaribu kuapply juu. Imagine nimejaribu kuapply scholarships again. Sikupata. Nikajaribu all the banks, Family Bank, Equity, KCB, na kuna nyingine ilikuwa inaitwa Jomo Kenyatta. Zote niliapply mpaka nikaenda my interview. Nothing came out. Sasa mimi ndo huyu. Kasema, so what am I going to do? Na imagine sasa hiyo kuingia form 1 ukiangalia barua wanataka school fees 56,000
cleared.
Yeah, term 1. Shopping is around 20,000.
Hakuna ile kulipa kidogo kidogo.
Hakuna ile kulipa kidogo kidogo. Juu anataka at least ukianda ukuwe na 35,000. Sasa mimi nikasema hapana. Mimi I took an initiative. Mimi nikaenda nikachukua hiyo barua yangu. Nikaenda mpaka high school nimeitwa. So then nika request I want to see the principal. Mimi nikaenda mpaka kwa principal. Then I explained to the principal. Nikamwambia principal, mimi venye unaniona hivi, even I don't have a cow that I can say I'm going to sell, nilete school fees. We don't have land I'm going to sell, nilete hapa school fees. Niko venye unaniona hivi. So principal akaniangalia, akaniuliza, what can you raise? Nikamwambia principal, for me, to be honest, I can maybe struggle and raise maybe 5,000. Akaniambia, okay, you go and bank, then come. Kena nikamwambia wazazi, neenda. Nikakuja shule, tukang'ang'ana tukapewa at least 1 month. Kumbuka wengine wamechoi kwa month kusoma. So I'm 1 month, I'm past 1 month. Nimekaa nyumbani. Sasa hiyo 1 month kwa tunapata kidogo kidogo, tunanunua hizi. Paka zikafika zenye tuliwezeshwa. Nikaenda shule. By good luck, venye nilifika hiyo form 1, tukapatana na also the deputy, tukaongea. Then the deputy by that time, he also supported me with something. Kanipea ka pocket money 1,000 na pia akanisaidia kununua some bed sheets, hizi mattress na hizi. Nikapelekwa dorm, nikaanza kusoma. So my life I went to a boarding school. Yes, extra county. Mimi despite the fact that I went to a boarding school, hakuna siku mimi nimewahi toa school fees atikwenda ku bank na bankers check. Nilikuwa tu na apply the CDFs, county bursaries na ile kidogo yenye mzazi anapata. So I went all through mpaka nikamaliza form 4. So something that really helped me in high school yenye ilifanya I did not suffer much ni venye nilifika form 2 term 1, I was given to be the class prefect. So I was appointed to be the class prefect. So venye I was made to be the class prefect, so I was the best class prefect. So I retained. So nikakuwa class prefect form 2 yote, nikakuwa form 3 yote, form 4 yote. So I was close to the principal. So wakati walikuwa wanafukuza school fees, he used to understand me. So sikuwa nafukuzwa. And if at all ningefukuzwa, I would explain to him na pia kukalau nitaniambia wewe kuja usome. So most of the time it was just by God's grace and the kindness of the school principal. Nikasoma. So then nilisoma hivyo, I did my form 4, nikamaliza. Remember, we are around 8 in our home. It's like we are depending on our mother. We're depending on our mother, and our mother, she is jobless at the moment. Because my mother used to work in a factory near sugar. But
your father was not supporting.
Yeah, my father was there because my father retired long time ago. I can say he retired 2007 when I was in standard 1. So from when he retired, and he's a person who never invested. So sometimes I tell people, if you get employment, at least try to invest, because you don't know the future. So wakati nilimaliza form 4, sasa ni join campus. Stress zingine ndo hizo. Naangalia nimeitwa University ya Nairobi, hii KUEA. Nimeitwa hii University ya Nairobi. Naangalia school fees wanataka tulipe. Bado hiyo pesa hata sina. So I was like, why? So nikasema anyway, wazazi wamenisukuma mpaka wamefika, wamefanya nimemaliza 4. I think pressuring them to take me to university and they are not able, pia nitakuwa na wasukuma kwa ukuta. And we have other siblings who also need help. So nikasema hapana, I will not push them to the wall to do whatever they can't do. So nikasema anyway, this is the situation and it is my life. So nikasema any education that I'm looking for, it is for myself, my future wife and my future children. Nikasema hapana, wacha liwe liwalo. So I tried to consult, seek help from the relatives I know they are rich. None of my relatives, hata mmoja hivi, those that I know, even they work in banks, they work in hospitals, they are teachers, they are whatever. Anytime they saw my call, walijua tu huyu anataka pesa ya kuingia university. My call went unanswered. My missed calls were not responded to. My messages were black. It's true hata to me which terminology. Ile unaona tu message unaignore. Nilituma text messages, nilipiga calls, niliredeem bonga points kupigia, but none of them responded. Nikasema achana na wao. So there is just one friend in our village who used to give me hope, used to give me his stories, side of the story, how we also struggled to join campus. In that village, kuna wale watu, you also share the same story. Yeah. So I used to listen to his story and I say, even my story is better. Because I can afford 1,000, 2,000 from 2 or 3 relatives. But for him, he was an orphan, living with the grandmother, and the grandmother was old and jobless. You can imagine. And he was supposed to join university. So I was putting myself in his shoe. Yes, at the moment, he had already made it. But now I was putting myself in his shoe before. And I saw, I'm okay. Yeah. So nikasema, okay. Whatever God has planned for me, so be it. Sasa nikasema, in Nairobi, I've tried to call the brothers I know, the aunties. None of them want even to accept me. Even come to the city. Remember, I've been called to a university in Nairobi. I've never been to Nairobi. Yeah, exactly. I only hear it's a city. Yeah. So I'm like, even if I travel, I did the research. This university, I made calls. There are no hostels. So I was like, should I change to a public university or what? Then I looked at the system changing from, KUSCA again to change a university to another university. So it just complicated things. They are asking for money. Kasema, hiyo barua kama nitaenda ni sawa, nisipoenda wacha ikae. So there is one relative I know who used to be close with my dad, and it's like when my dad was well off, they were working close to each other, but we are not, it's an away relative. Yes, you share same blood, same ancestral blood, but they are far apart. They are not within. We are not living in the same compound. So my dad called him because he was the last hopeful. So my dad called him. So when my dad called him, he told him about me, and he accepted me. Remember, he did not accept to educate me. He only accepted me to go and stay with him for me to be able to know where the university is. Because remember, he also has his family. So, hapo ndo nikatoka. I remember, nilitoka in the village with 3 trousers, 3 t-shirts. Na mpaka niliziweka as a memory, niko nazo. Hizo ndo nguo nilitoka nazo ushago. Zilikuwa longi 3, t-shirt 3 na sport shoes zenye nilitoka nazo high school. Nikasema hizi ndo naenda nazo Nairobi. Sasa nikaenda. So I went, remember I was to join on 20th of September 2021, but I had no fees, I had nothing. So I had to defer the first semester of September, December. to do my hustles. So I'm living with him and I'm also doing my hustles here and there. So nikafanya ma hustles zangu hapa na pale, nikatafuta nyumba ya pesa ya kufanya nini? Ya kuishi. Nilikuja hapa shule the time I came to defer. Nikaambiwa there's no hostels, you need to at least to raise 50%. By that time I was not able to even raise that fund. So what I did, said I went into, kuna mali nilipata hizi kufanya kazi za car wash. So I used to wash like cars na nilikuwa like 300 shillings per day, 250 shillings per day and I said. So nikafanya hiyo kazi from September, October, November, December. So nika raise around 20,000 on my own. By good luck, help pay kakuja, had applied for it. Nikapewa around 16,000. So nikakuwa na 36,000 January. So hiyo 36,000, remember, ndio nafaa nitoe ndani school fees, ndio nafaa niende ni rent nayo nyumba, ndio nafaa nifanye nayo shopping. I was doomed. I was finished. So I was trying to calculate hii pesa. How am I going to budget it? Yeah, nitaifanya aje? So whatever I did, nikasema wacha kwanza niende shule nione how things are going to work out. Nikakuja shule wakaniambia no, you need to raise at least 50%. And 50% I'm calculating from my school fees. 50% is around 16,000 or 18,000 thereabout. So nikasema let me just pay this 50%. Alafu singine nijipange na. So nikaenda Rongai, nika rent nyumba, nikanunua gas. By that time, all my first semester, I never slept on a bed. Nililala chini kwa floor na mattress. And I had one gas sufuria moja hapa na pale na mattress. So hivyo naenda shule hivyo first semester. So the policy was for you to do your examination, you have to be completed your semester fees. Mimi ndo huyo kufikisha 50% was problem. I applied for CDF bursary. Haikuwahi toka. I thought that it never came out. That was like nonsense. So nikasema toka liwe liwalo. That is then 2021, 2022. Kumaliza hiyo semester, wakati we are doing our examinations, ndio hiyo sasa wakaanza kuangalia if you're not on the examination list unatolewa nje. Mimi ndio hiyo stress after stress. Mimi nikakuja nikafanya nini? Nikatolewa nje examination room. I did not sit for my almost all the examination. Nilikuwa nimefanya only one paper. Na nilikuwa paper ya pili. Nikatolewa. Nikakuwa so disappointed, so demoralized. So I was like, should I go back to the street? What do I do? It reached a point I just said, surely somebody niteseke. Let me just take away my life. Nikufe tu nani? Nijisahau tani kuishi kwa earth full of problems. So nikasema no. The more you go here and there. So I decided to say hapana. Let me try to at least maybe be close to God. Nikasema even though the situations are tough, but there is always a reason behind everything. So mimi nikasema sawa. So I looked for one church, I remember. I joined the church. By that time, now we had finished that semester and I was in another holiday. So I went close to that church. And when I went to that church, I found that church had a live streaming studio and everything. So walinikaribisha vizuri kwa hiyo kanisa. I remember it was KG East Assembly in Buruburu. So nikasema I'm interested in learning and serving the media part. So nikasema wakanikaribisha, wakasema that is good. Nikaanza kutrainiwa maneno ya kamera. Wakanitrain camera. I used to go every Thursday, maneno ya kamera na train camera. Wakani coach vizuri mpaka nikaanza kwa tangazia news, kwa fanyia reporting, edit and everything. They taught me a lot of things. from May, June, July, August. Sasa tunaenda kufungua another semester. Nilikuwa kwa hiyo church nikifanya mambo ya media. So by the time nilimaliza those 4 years, I was perfect in media. Najua kuoperate cameras, najua kufanya live streaming, najua kufanya everything. So nikasema, okay, at least I have gotten some skills. Hiyo ilikuwa, so we are now starting another semester. So tukaanza semester 2 hiyo ya September, December. Nikaenda. Bado sina school fees, imagine. But nimeanza semester. Na hata ya previous sikuwa nimemaliza. Though nilingangana kidogo, nikakilia ka semester kaini ndo nikuwe able to register for a session. So nika register that session. So when I registered for that session, I was not sure I'm going to do an examination. So nikasema, so nimesoma, mtihani nakaribia, tena naona it's like I'm going to miss out on my examination. So nikasema, pana, I can't again miss out this examination in the name of school fees. I cannot like be registering session, registering units, I study, then towards the end, I lose doing my examination. They end up being retakes and specials. Nikasema, enough is enough. Nikasema, all these people in these offices, they're human beings, they can listen. Then, I went to the deputy dean, I remember, Madam Perez. Then I explained to Madam Perez my story. I told her I just want to be granted permission to do my examination for this semester, at least to get a transcript for me to apply for this CTF's, CTF bursaries. Because for you to apply for the bursary, at least you need to attach your report card, your results. So nikasema, akanisikia, akasema, oh, is your HOD aware? Yeah, my HOD is aware. And I will also go and inform. So I went to Madam Rose. I informed Madam Rose about all these things. So Madam Rose kept on motivating me. From Madam Rose, nikakuja Deputy Dean, nikamwambia I want to go and see the Vice Chancellor. To meet the Vice Chancellor and tell him all these stories. Akaniambia, that is okay. So I went to the Vice Chancellor's office. I met the secretary by then, I remember. So the secretary there, I can't remember her name, but I remember her. She was a sister. So nikaongea na yeye, kaanza kuniuliza, do you know about these things called Cardinal Otunga? I don't know that scholarship. If it exists. So it was like that. So akaniambia, the VC is away, but she will be in this day. Come this day. So I went, I met the Vice Chancellor. I explained to the Vice Chancellor. Then the Vice Chancellor told me to write a letter, get to the HOD, take to the HOD to stamp, take to the Dean to stamp. So I think that's the time I came even to know Dean of Students. By that time, I was a first year, sikuwa inajua Dean of Students nani, hata sikuwa najua ofisi yake iko wapi. I only knew the Deputy Dean. So, taking that initiative, I went, I registered, the VC helped me. I forwarded my name to a timetable and examination, akatuma kwa finance, wakakilia, wakanieka jina yangu kwa examination list. So remember, that semester, I was not going to classes. And I remember it's the semester we were almost together. The semester I was doing Christian ethics and all those things. Yeah. So mimi nimeenda, nilikuwa na worried juu ilifikanga time najua before policy change kama hujamaliza tu unablokiwa hapo kwa gate. Yeah. So ilifikanga time you are blocked from the gate, you don't access the gate, so you miss classes. Hiyo time unasikia mko na cut, you miss the cut, so like everything, yani mpaka unashinda tu what should you do. So nikaenda by good luck, nikaomba notes hapa na pale, some of my friends wenye walikuwa hiyo class kanipea notes, tukasoma tukangangana, nikafanya mtihani hiyo semester, nikamaliza that 2022 semester, so that 1.2, so nikaingia 2.1 2023. So hiyo 2023 January April, mbuka hiyo nilikuwa na balance ya last semester, so I'm not even able to create a session again. I was only allowed to do examination from the Vice Chancellor's note. So because my story was in the Vice Chancellor's office, then they asked me something. They asked me about if I know about Cardinal Otunga scholarship, if I know about the work study program. So I was like, work study program. So I don't know anything about work study program. So because I knew things to handle with cameras, live streaming, and everything, and by that time I came close, to God. So I was attending masses here and there. So I started helping in streaming of masses. So when nilianza kustream hizo masses, then nikikuja hivi nikakutana by then the head of communication. She was called Miss Miriam Chege. So Miriam Chege akaniuliza, do you know about the work study program? I told her, I don't know. So why don't you apply for this program so that you come and work with me here? So I was like, so I can do that. So Miriam recommended me for work study program. I applied. She called the dean. She told the dean, so and so has applied for this program. I want him here. So that's how I got my work study program, by the way. That was in January, April 2023. Remember, I had the fee balance of the previous semester, so I again deferred. So I was not able to start my second year. So I deferred. So I did my work study program as I continued to study now I hit the special exams. So those are the units I used to study. Nikazisoma mpaka nikafanya nini? Nikazimaliza. So venye nilizimaliza hivyo, nikafanya work study program, nika-apply Cardinal Otunga, ikanilipia school fees hapo. Nikaendelea na hiyo program, ikaanza kuni-help hapo, improve mpaka where I am right now. So right now as I am, I can say that I'm okay. I can pay rent on my own. I can pay school fees on my own. I can buy anything on my own. I can travel to any places on my own. Depending on the persistence, the sacrifice, and the hard work. Yeah. So I think that is my story. From scratch to, from grass to grace. And we are still progressing as time goes by. And whatever I can tell people is, you can just see people dressing smart, but they're dressing because you don't know what is behind them. When someone smiles, doesn't mean that he or she ana kitu ambayo inamsumbua. Ni anaficha tu shida zake kwa hiyo smile. But we are going through a lot, but just that me and God are the only people who knows. Yeah. That is my story. And I'm encouraging people to work hard, not to give up. Temptations are there for us. So we as human beings, if we cannot overcome these temptations, then we cannot reach to our destiny. Our destiny is somewhere there where we are all struggling to go and meet our destiny. But along the destiny path, kuna milima na mabonde. And those are some of the mountains and hills that I've told here. And here we are.
So Brian, after all you have gone through, where do you see yourself in future? Maybe your life when you were growing up sad, and now.
I can say that now all that I went through are things of the past. Now we are focusing on the future, and I can say that future is always bright, but the future cannot be bright if you don't make it bright. So right now I can say I've been into leadership positions here at the university. They have really helped me a lot. They have hardened me. They have taught me leadership skills. Right now as we speak, I'm the Secretary General of the entire university and college students of Kakamega. The Journalism Club Chairperson. I'm also the Secretary of Publication and Research. And I've acquired so many skills. As we speak right now, I'm also working in the Study Abroad Agency, where we recruit international students to go and study abroad. So, question of where I see myself in future is I'm seeing myself as a member of parliament, because I'll really fight to be a member of parliament to change the life of people who are around me, because I don't want the same thing that happened to me to happen to anybody else. Sitaki ifanyikie mtoto wa mtu mwingine, because as I told you earlier, for any problem, for any challenges that happens, God has a reason behind it. Yeah. So, Mungu alikuwa na sababu ni kwa nini zilinifanyikia mimi na sio mtu mwingine. Because maybe he wanted me to change and transform the society.
So ungependa kuambia nini mtu ambaye amelose hope, anaona amefika mwisho, ana pa kwenda, nasikia kuchitoa uhai kama venye umesema ulikuwa unataka kuchitoa uhai. Ungemwambia nini?
What I can tell the youth, especially in universities. You know, all these universities, you have had people committing suicide, depression, stress, and everything. What I can tell them is, do not lose hope at all. Whatever you are going through is because of a purpose. There is a reason behind your suffering. Maybe you are paying the sins of your ancestors, but there's a time where those sins will be repaid and you will see the future. The future is always bright. What you need to do is to accept yourself, accept where you are coming from. Do not accept group influence. Accept that you are coming from a humble family. Then work hard to deliver that family from being humble to somewhere here. And people God will always bless you. And then being prayerful, trusting in God, hardworking, sacrifice, and then patient. You know, some of the things that make people go into join cultism, you've had girls dying into lodgings, is because of poverty. Because they want to be rich when that time is not yet right for them. There is always time for everything. I can tell my viewers and my audience that to be born in poverty, is not your sin, or to come from a humble background is not your sin, nor your mistake. But to live in that state, to live in that humble background, or to remain in that in that poverty, now that is where the problem lies. Because God has given you the capability, has given you the mandate to do everything possible, to work hard upon His blessings, to come out of that situation and to also deliver others. I'm telling you that in future, 10 years from now, I will invite all of you to my inauguration as a member of parliament, and I will start a scholarship foundation under my name to help kids, orphans, to also get bright future of education.
That's very good. Thank you, Brian, for coming.
Thank you for your
invitation. Really taught us. Encourage watu huko nje, and we are so grateful.
Thank you.
So my viewers, thank you for watching us. Let's meet another time. It's your host, Elosi Modoni, and our guest was Brian KWEYU, or Brian Angel. Welcome.
Thank you.